What happens when Hollywood royalty meets royal family drama on live television? In just 22 seconds, Prince Harry went from welcome guest to security escort after an explosive outburst that left viewers speechless. Last night's episode of The View became the most shocking celebrity meltdown ever caught on camera, and we have the exclusive inside story of how it all went down. The studio lights were blazing hot as the morning show prepared for what everyone thought would be a routine celebrity interview. Angelina Jolie sat gracefully in the guest chair, her humanitarian work with refugees the planned topic of discussion. She wore a simple black blazer, her hands folded calmly as makeup artists applied final touches. Across the iconic oval table, the hosts of The View shuffled through their notes. Whoopi Goldberg tapped her cards against the desk. "Remember, everyone, we're keeping this focused on Angelina's UN work. Let's make this meaningful." Joy Behar nodded, adjusting her glasses. "Got it. The refugee crisis needs attention." Sarah Haynes smiled warmly toward their guest. "Angelina, you look wonderful. Ready for this?" "Always ready to talk about the children," Angelina replied softly, her voice carrying that familiar, compassionate tone that had made her a beloved figure worldwide. But then something unexpected happened. The show's producer rushed over to Whoopi, whispering urgently in her ear. Whoopi's eyebrows shot up in surprise. "What do you mean he's here?" Whoopi asked, her voice barely audible. "Prince Harry just arrived. His people called an hour ago. They want him to join the panel discussion," the producer explained quickly. The studio fell silent. This wasn't planned. This wasn't on the schedule. And judging by the look on Angelina's face, she had no idea either. "Did anyone clear this with Angelina's team?" Sarah whispered to Joy. Joy shook her head slowly. "This could get interesting." Within minutes, Prince Harry strode onto the set. He wore a navy blue suit, but something seemed off about his demeanor. His jaw was set tight. His eyes had a strange intensity, and he walked with an almost aggressive confidence that felt out of place. "Ladies, thank you for having me," Harry said, not waiting for an invitation as he took the empty chair next to Angelina. "I felt it was important to be here today." Whoopi looked confused but tried to maintain her professional composure. "Well, Prince Harry, this is unexpected, but welcome. We were just about to discuss Angelina's incredible humanitarian work." Harry's expression darkened slightly. "Yes, humanitarian work. That's exactly what I want to talk about." Angelina turned to look at him, her brow furrowed with concern. Something was clearly wrong. The prince she had met at various charity events over the years was usually warm and gracious. This version seemed agitated, almost hostile. "We're back in 10 seconds, called out the floor director. The red light flickered on, and suddenly millions of viewers were watching what would become television history. "Good morning, everyone. I'm Whoopi Goldberg, and welcome back to The View." Whoopi began with her signature smile. "We're here with the amazing Angelina Jolie, discussing her tireless work with refugees around the world. And we've been joined unexpectedly by Prince Harry." Angelina leaned forward slightly. "Thank you, Whoopi. The situation for displaced families has never been more urgent. Just last month, I visited camps where children are—" "Actually," Harry interrupted sharply, "I think we need to talk about something else first." The studio went dead quiet. You could hear cameras clicking from the audience. This wasn't how interviews were supposed to go. Whoopi blinked in surprise. "I'm sorry? I said we need to discuss something more important," Harry repeated, his voice rising slightly. "Everyone always wants to praise Angelina for her humanitarian work, but nobody wants to talk about the real issues." Angelina's face remained calm, but her eyes showed genuine confusion. "Harry, what are you talking about?" "I'm talking about privilege," Harry snapped back. "I'm talking about celebrities who use charity work as publicity stunts while real people suffer." The View panel exchanged shocked glances. Joy Behar's mouth fell open. Sarah Haynes gripped her coffee mug tighter. This was live television, and it was spiraling out of control fast. "Prince Harry," Whoopi said firmly, "I think there might be some misunderstanding here. Angelina has dedicated decades of her life to decades of photo opportunities." Harry shot back, his voice growing louder. "Flying around in private jets, staying in luxury hotels, taking pictures with poor children for magazine covers. That's not real humanitarian work. That's performance." The audience gasped audibly. Several people in the studio looked at each other in disbelief. This was Prince Harry, member of the British royal family, attacking one of Hollywood's most respected humanitarian advocates on live television. Angelina took a deep breath, her voice remaining steady despite the shocking accusations. "Harry, I understand you might be going through something difficult, but these children I work with aren't photo opportunities. They're human beings who need help." "Don't patronize me," Harry snapped. You don't understand anything about real suffering. You've never had to give up your family, your country, your entire identity just to speak the truth. Joy Behar finally found her voice. Wait just a minute here. Prince Harry, with respect, you're way out of line. Harry whipped around to face Joy, his eyes blazing with anger. Out of line? I'm the only one here willing to tell the truth. Everyone else is just playing pretend. The truth about what exactly? Sarah Haynes asked, trying to bring some sanity back to the conversation. The truth about fake humanitarians who care more about their image than actually helping people, Harry declared, pointing directly at Angelina. Angelina remained remarkably composed, but there was sadness in her eyes now. Harry, in all the years I've known you, you've never spoken like this. Your mother, Princess Diana, was my inspiration for this work. She would be heartbroken to hear you speaking this way. The mention of his mother seemed to trigger something even darker in Harry. His face flushed red with rage. Don't you dare bring up my mother, he snarled. You have no right to mention her name. None of you understand what she went through, what my family put her through. Whoopi tried to regain control of the situation. I think we should take a commercial break and— No, Harry shouted, standing up abruptly. I'm not finished. You want to talk about humanitarian work? Let's talk about how Angelina gets praised for visiting refugee camps for a few hours, while people like me sacrifice everything and get nothing but criticism. The studio was in complete chaos now. Producers were frantically gesturing from behind the cameras. Security guards had appeared at the edges of the set, but the cameras kept rolling, broadcasting every shocking second to viewers around the world. Angelina stood up slowly, maintaining her dignity even as the situation deteriorated around her. I think you should sit down, Harry. Take a breath. Whatever's bothering you, this isn't the way to handle it. Don't tell me what to do, Harry snapped back. You're not my therapist, you're not my friend, and you're definitely not the saint everyone pretends you are. The tension in the studio had reached a breaking point. Harry's face was twisted with anger, his hands clenched into fists at his sides. But Angelina Jolie stood there like a pillar of strength, refusing to be intimidated by his increasingly erratic behavior. Harry, Angelina said quietly, I've spent time with families who've lost everything, children who've walked hundreds of miles just to find safety. If you think that's a photo opportunity, then you don't understand what real suffering looks like. Real suffering? Harry laughed bitterly, the sound echoing through the stunned studio. You want to talk about real suffering? Try being trapped in a family that destroys everyone it touches. Try watching your mother get hunted by photographers until she dies. Try having the whole world judge every single thing you do. Joy Behar shook her head in disbelief. Prince Harry, millions of people would trade places with you in a heartbeat. You have wealth, privilege, a platform to help people. What are you so angry about? Harry spun around to face her, his voice rising to a near shout. Because it's all fake, all of it. The smiles, the charity work, the pretending to care. Nobody actually cares about helping people. They care about looking good while they help people. That's not true, Sarah Haynes said firmly. Angelina has been working with refugees for over 20 years. She's donated millions of her own money. Money she'll never miss, Harry shot back. It's easy to be generous when you have more than you could ever spend. But what about real sacrifice? What about giving up everything that matters to you? Whoopi had heard enough. Her voice cut through the chaos like a sword. Young man, I don't know what's gotten into you today, but you need to check yourself right now. You're disrespecting a woman who has dedicated her life to helping others. And what about the life I dedicated to helping others? Harry demanded, his voice cracking with emotion. I served in Afghanistan. I started charities for wounded veterans. I tried to carry on my mother's legacy, but because I married the woman I love, because I chose my family over their stupid traditions, suddenly I'm the villain. Angelina's expression softened slightly, understanding starting to dawn in her eyes. Harry, is this really about humanitarian work? Or is this about something else entirely? Everything is about something else, Harry said, his voice becoming more unstable. Everything is connected. The media, the family, the fake charity work, all of it. It's all designed to keep people like me quiet while people like you get praised for doing the bare minimum. The audience was completely silent now, watching this train wreck unfold in real time. Several people had their phones out, recording what was clearly going to be replayed millions of times across social media. Prince Harry, Whoopi said sternly, you need to apologize to Miss Jolie right now, or we're going to have to ask you to leave. Harry's eyes went wide with rage. Ask me to leave? You're going to ask a member of the British royal family to leave because I'm telling the truth? This is exactly the problem. Nobody wants to hear the truth anymore. The truth? Angelina said, her voice still calm despite everything. "The truth is that you're hurting, and you're taking it out on people who don't deserve it. That's not brave, Harry. That's just cruel." "Don't psychoanalyze me," Harry snapped. "You don't know anything about my life or my pain." Joy Behar had reached her limit. "Okay, that's enough. Pain doesn't give you the right to attack people who are trying to help others. Angelina Jolie has done more good in this world than most people could ever dream of." "Based on what?" Harry demanded. "Photo shoots with refugee children? Unspeeches that change nothing? Awards ceremonies where rich people pat themselves on the back?" Sarah Haynes stood up from her chair. "You know what? You're being completely unfair. Angelina has brought international attention to crises that the world was ignoring. She's helped change policies that save lives." "Has she?" Harry challenged. "Or has she just made herself feel better while the real problems continue? Because last time I checked, there are more refugees now than when she started her little publicity tours." The comment hit like a slap across the face. Even the camera operators looked shocked. This was beyond inappropriate. This was cruel. Angelina closed her eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath before responding. When she opened them again, there was steel in her voice. "You know what, Harry? You're right about one thing. The problems are getting worse. There are more displaced families now than ever before. And you know why? Because while some of us are trying to help, others are sitting around complaining about how unfair their privileged lives are." The studio erupted. The audience gasped. Joy and Sarah exchanged looks of amazement. Even Whoopi's eyes widened. Angelina Jolie, known for her grace and diplomacy, had just delivered a devastating blow. Harry's face went bright red. "How dare you? How dare I what?" Angelina interrupted, her voice growing stronger. "How dare I point out that you're throwing a tantrum on national television instead of using your platform to actually help people? How dare I suggest that maybe your problems aren't the most important thing in the world right now?" "You have no idea what you're talking about," Harry sputtered, clearly rattled by her response. "I know exactly what I'm talking about," Angelina continued. "I've met children who've been separated from their parents for years. Mothers who've walked across deserts carrying babies. Fathers who've died trying to find their family's safety. And you want to sit here and complain because people don't appreciate your sacrifice enough?" Whoopi was nodding approvingly. "That's right, tell him, Angelina." Harry looked around the studio wildly, realizing that he had completely lost the room. Every single person was now looking at him like he was the problem, which only made his anger burn hotter. "This is ridiculous," he declared. "You're all ganging up on me because I'm telling the truth you don't want to hear." "The only truth here," Joy said sharply, "is that you came on this show and attacked someone who spends her life helping others. That says everything about your character." "My character?" Harry laughed wildly. "You want to talk about character? I gave up my royal title, my family, my country, everything, to protect my wife and children. What has she given up? What has any of you given up?" Sarah Haynes shook her head sadly. "Harry, nobody's questioning your love for your family. But that doesn't give you the right to tear down other people who are trying to make the world better." "Make the world better?" Harry's voice was getting higher, more desperate. "The world is falling apart. There are wars everywhere. People are starving. Children are dying. And you want to give awards to celebrities who visit them once a year for photo shoots?" Angelina had heard enough. She turned to face Harry directly, her voice cutting through his rant like a knife. "You know what the difference is between us, Harry? When I see suffering, I try to do something about it. When you see suffering, you just add to it." The words hung in the air like a thunderclap. Harry's mouth fell open. For a moment, he seemed completely speechless. Then something in him seemed to snap completely. "That's it," Harry shouted, pointing directly at Angelina. "I don't have to listen to this from someone who's built her entire career on exploiting other people's misery for her own benefit." That was the final straw. Whoopi stood up from her chair, her voice booming across the studio. "Security," she called out firmly. "Please escort Prince Harry off the set. Now." Two large security guards immediately stepped forward, moving toward Harry's chair. The prince looked around frantically, seeming to realize for the first time how far he had gone. "You can't do this to me," he protested as the guards approached. "I'm trying to expose the truth about these fake humanitarians." "The only thing you've exposed," Angelina said sadly, "is that you've lost your way, and I'm sorry for that. I really am." As the security guards reached him, Harry made one final, desperate attempt to justify his behavior. "This is exactly what they did to my mother, silencing anyone who tries to tell the truth." But nobody was listening anymore. The guards gently but firmly took his arms, guiding him toward the exit. Harry continued protesting as they walked him off the set, his voice growing fainter as he disappeared behind the cameras. The studio fell into an eerie silence. Angelina sat back down slowly, her hands trembling slightly from the adrenaline. The view panel looked at each other in stunned disbelief. Finally, Whoopi broke the silence. "Well," she said, her voice still shaky, "that was certainly unexpected." Angelina nodded, composing herself with remarkable speed. "Sometimes people are in so much pain that they lash out at anyone nearby. I hope Harry gets the help he needs." Even after being attacked and humiliated on live television, she was showing compassion for the man who had just tried to destroy her reputation. The cameras captured every moment of her grace under pressure, and viewers around the world saw exactly why Angelina Jolie had earned her reputation as one of Hollywood's most admirable figures. As the show cut to commercial, the studio buzzed with whispered conversations about what they had just witnessed. Nobody could quite believe it had really happened, but the cameras had captured every shocking second, and the world would be talking about it for years to come.